For the first time in the new year, UConn will take the floor. The Huskies hope 2016 brings a trip to Indianapolis and the Final Four. Tonight, it's a trip to the XL Center in downtown Hartford to take on Tulsa, now on SNY. From the XL Center, we welcome you to UConn women's basketball on SNY. Tonight, the #1 team in the country, the undefeated Huskies, take on the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. UConn women's basketball on SNY, brought to you by Subaru of New England. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. For more information, go to SubaruofNewEngland.com. By People's United Bank NA, putting the power of know-how to work for you. And by Sam Adams, for the love of beer. In the final game of 2015, UConn picked up a win at Cincinnati, stretching their winning streak to 48 games, fourth longest in Division I history. One streak continuing, one streak coming to an end here tonight. Moriah Jefferson's consecutive game starting streak ends at 90. She will not play this evening, a hamstring injury forcing her to sit out for the first time in her UConn career. We welcome you to the XL Center. Eric Fried alongside Megan Colmo. It is a long list of ways in which UConn will miss Moriah Jefferson. What's #1 on your list?
I think leadership, particularly on the offensive end and her offensive production. But let's also not forget what she brings defensively to this team. But when one door closes, another one opens. And Sanaya Chong will now get the opportunity to start. The first start since the Stanford game last year. Let's hope for Sanaya and her teammates it's a better turnout. One
player came back from injury in that Cincinnati game. It was Natalie Butler, who made her first appearance for UConn. What did you think about her debut against Cincinnati?
I was incredibly impressed with Natalie Butler's debut as a Husky. She sat out for the whole year, and then when she finally got in this year, messed up her thumb, needed the surgery, but in her first game showed incredible athleticism at 6'5", really good hands, great footwork, 11 points in 15 minutes. It's a great starting point for her because they could use her down the stretch. Great alternative, another option inside.
In that game, Butler helped UConn score a season-best 107 points. Gino Auriemma's team leading the country in scoring at better than 89 points a game. We'll see what happens tonight against Tulsa. We'll have the lineups and the opening tip when we come back to the XL Center here on SNY. UConn women's basketball on SNY, brought to you by UConn Health, breakthrough medicine here for you. By Bob's Discount Furniture, proud to be the official furniture store of the UConn Huskies. And by your local Mercedes-Benz dealers. Some of the images from the season so far, perfect, 11-0, 1-0 in conference play. And you can see Gino Auriemma's Huskies as they make a run at a 4th straight national championship and 11th overall. Flex packs, single game tickets, or group tickets are still available at UConnTickets.com. Before we go any further, time to check in with Kareth Burke, whose report is brought to us by Sam Adams. Hi, Kareth.
Hi, Eric. A big test tonight for UConn playing without Moriah Jefferson. I talked to assistant coach Shay Ralph about what the team needs to do. She says everyone needs to remember the things that the senior Moriah has taught them. Play good defense, be a tough player. Ralph predicts this game won't be too much different for Kia Nurse, but she's really interested to see what Sanaya Chong does tonight. The question is whether Sanaya's excellent string of practices will translate into an excellent game. Now, Sanaya's going to have the ball a lot in her hands tonight, but Ralph believes her confidence should be at an all-time high, and Sanaya will have to help fill the void with some assists and steals. Eric?
Yes, it will take a team effort to fill the void left by Moriah Jefferson here tonight. As you take a look at the starting lineups presented by Subaru, Sanaya getting the start, as we mentioned before, first since last year against Stanford in game #2. Kia Nurse, Nafisa Collier, Morgan Tuck, Brianna Stewart. For Gino Auriemma, 928 career wins in 31 seasons. Tulsa comes in 2-0 in the American. Kelsey Grovey, Erica Wakefield, Ashley Clark, Tiara Williams, and Crystal Polk, the starting 5 for Matilda Mossman in her 5th season at Tulsa. 13th overall, this year's team, 5-8 very challenging non-conference schedule. And of course, the biggest challenge on the schedule all season comes tonight here on the road at UConn. We are ready for the opening tip here in Hartford. Cameron Inouye, Dennis DeMeo, Sue Blau, our officiating crew. Real good crowd filling in here on what turned out to be a pretty nice day here in Connecticut's capital city. UConn 11-0, 1-0 in conference play. Tulsa 5-8 overall, 2-0 in the American. Brianna Stewart set to jump against Ashley Clark, and we are underway here at the XL Center.
Great energy in this crowd early.
Collier to Chong.
Tulsa switching on every screen.
Hot pass, and it looks like a foul was called on the inside on Tulsa. Ashley Clark, leading scorer for this Tulsa team, averaging better than 13 points a game, and their leading rebounder as well. Can't afford for her to get into early foul trouble. Morgan Tuck backs it in, and a foul called on Williams.
That could have been offensive, I thought, on Tuck. There, see the little left shoulder, left arm. I thought she, at least from this vantage point here, let's check this angle out.
Cleared a little space.
Could have gone either way. Got the home court call.
Three-point play for Tuck. First possession for Tulsa. Tulsa coming off a victory against SMU on Saturday, 56-54. Block shot for Stewart. Little miscommunication. She was leaving it for Nurse. Now Wakefield trying to find Kelsey Grovey.
See, I think that's the biggest difference with Sanaya Chong playing in place of the injured Jefferson. Oh, nice play. Tulsa could not finish. Sanaya Chong not the defender that Jefferson is.
That was block number 29 for Stewart. Kick over to Sanaya Chong. Offensive rebound for Tuck. Kia Nurse will try. Pulled down by Williams.
Nice box out by Williams.
Wakefield driving to the basket, and then Tuck and Stewart close the gap.
Force her to reconsider.
Stewart. Rebound for Grovey. Tried on the inside again. Another block for Stewart. Last touched by Tulsa. UConn ball.
Nice team defense. Brianna Stewart getting the block. And Nurse, a really good one-on-one defender. Tulsa just couldn't finish there.
Feed on the inside. Stewart with the finish. First points, averaging 22 a game. Had the memorable game against Cincinnati. Scored 16 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, but passed Carrie Bascom, Nikisha Sales, and Kalina Mosqueda-Lewis in one game on the all-time scoring list.
That's an incredible leap of 3 outstanding basketball players.
Ashley Clark, the senior out of Midwest City, Oklahoma, preseason second team all-conference, had 6 points and 10 boards in that win. Breakdown defensively here for Tulsa. Sanaya Chong takes advantage.
Chong so explosive with the basketball in her hands, gets to the basket quickly.
Wakefield driving all the way in. Another rebound for Stewart. Now Nurse uses that ball fake so well. Gets open for her first 2.
Kia Nurse just makes really good decisions on the basketball floor. Nice decision that time to draw the defense. Looked to Collier and then decided to take it because they didn't stop the ball.
Banked in for the second field goal, I beg your pardon, for Ashley Clark. Tried to feed it to Collier, taken away by Tulsa.
Yeah, and Stewart said, my bad, that was my fault, bad pass.
Crystal Polk, freshman out of Lawton, Oklahoma. Trying to work up top with Grovey. 8 on the shot clock. Knocked away by Morgan Tuck. 5 to shoot for UConn.
Explosive with the ball, quick to the hoop. And I like Kia Nurse on the break. Sizes it up. Ball fake, looks around. Nah, I got this.
Substitutions. Nafisa Collier goes to the bench. An early entry here for Gabby Williams. Stewart got tangled up. 2 on the shot clock. And Gabby with an early rebound.
Nice box with the left side of her body. Pulled that down with her right hand.
Liesl Spurl into the game for Tulsa, number 35. Here she is defensively as Tuck attacks the basket. She has an early 5.
And there, Tuck with the nice pump fake and the quick step, getting herself to the basket.
An offensive foul called on Ashley Clark. That will be her second personal. Nurse taking the contact. That means Clark's going to have to go to the bench. And Tiana Reed, junior from Oklahoma City, comes into the game. Also coming in for Tulsa, Ty-J Scales, a freshman from Houston.
Well, that's a bad scenario to lose your leading scorer at this early point of the first quarter. But Matilda Mossman told us before the game, their goal tonight is to manage minutes. They have a tough 3-game road stretch here within 5 days.
And Mossman, very realistic when it comes to playing UConn. They're on the road at Temple and on the road at Memphis over the next 2 games. Gabby Williams can't get it. Ooh, the tip almost rolled in from Stewart. There's a lot of bodies in our field of vision there, but there's only one hand on this floor that could get as high as that one was there from Stewart. Wakefield, a little crossover. Did well to get inside for 2.
That'll make the postseason highlight film for Tulsa.
Erica Wakefield coming up a strong game against SMU. 10 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists, just 2 turnovers in that 2-point win. The feed inside. Williams to Tuck. The basket and the foul. UConn continues to attack the paint. 502 points scored in the paint by UConn this year. Their opponents, 206. That's how dominant they are on the inside. Welcome back to the 3rd meeting all time between Tulsa and UConn. UConn sweeping both meetings a season ago. Let's go to Meg for a look at Como's Court Vision, brought to you by Greenwich Hospital, part of Yale New Haven Health.
It's interesting when you space things out. Now, Tulsa, watch the way they're trying to play D here. Now, Morgan Tuck set that screen, goes down into that low post. Okay, she's fronted from the high side, so you flash from the opposite side, and then she spins, keeps her defender on her high side. There's no one on the weak side, except for when they come over too late and there's a foul. Perfect execution.
Morgan Tuck has been perfect from the floor so far, 3 for 3, and she has been on target over the last 5 games, 68% from the floor for the redshirt junior out of Illinois. She has a chance to finish off a 3-point play. Morgan coming in second on the team in scoring at 15.5 points a game, 3rd in rebounding at 5.5 boards a game. She has 8. Tulsa has 6. Chong, Williams, Stewart, Nurse, and Tuck for UConn. Pressure. Ashley Hughes into the game for Tulsa. Wakefield. Spurl, and a foul called on Tulsa.
Yeah, Kia Nurse trying to get around. She got elbowed in the mouth. You see there, number 25, Ty-J Scales.
Well, that's never a good thing. Ashley Hughes, who just came into the game, lost part of a couple of teeth here in the game last year. You're going to get elbowed in the mouth.
And Liesl Spurl broke her jaw earlier this season. Was wearing braces on her top teeth. 2 of her teeth got knocked into the roof of her mouth. She's got braces on for the better part of 6 weeks.
Well, this is a game that is a dentist's dream. Hopefully Kia Nurse is okay. Here is Hughes, first 3-point attempt of the game for Tulsa. Previous foul was on Gabby Williams. be UConn basketball.
Not surprising that Kia Nurse taking more of a leadership role out there with Mariah Jefferson on that bench with a hamstring injury.
And Williams was cutting towards the lane. Tuck's pass flying out of bounds. Tulsa will take over.
And this is classic. He just yelled at Kia Nurse. She didn't. Tuck threw the ball to Williams on that turnover. And he's blaming the point guard because that's what he does. That's a good sign for Kia Nurse. He trusts you enough to be the point guard, and he's going to yell at you when other people mess up.
Tuck scores again. Already in the double figures now with 10. It'll be interesting to see. We got to look into life after Breanna Stewart when she didn't play against LSU because of the ankle injury. Now life without Mariah Jefferson, who I think a lot of people take for granted, but she just doesn't get assists and take care of things. She keeps everything together on both ends of the floor, doesn't she?
She really does. She's such a leader. Oh, nice block by Kia Nurse. You know, and another person that certainly Gino and the team understands is Tuck. I mean, she is so steady, so solid. And then someone that we've been talking a lot about tonight on both ends of the floor, Kia Nurse coming out to block that shot.
Gabby Williams jumps through to take it away.
Showing her athleticism and anticipation, stepping in that passing lane.
Gabby in that sixth-man role. She was the co-sixth player of the year last year. Shared that honor with Ashley Clark, who's on the bench right now for Tulsa with 2 fouls. Nurse, the quick up to Stewart, to Tuck, who is fouled. Here's tonight's drive of the game, presented by Chevrolet. Gabby Williams.
Well, stepping in, and I just love to watch this kid. She's so athletic. So effortless the way she moves up and down the floor.
Katie Lou Samuelson into the game for the first time as Sanaya Chong goes to the bench. Katie Lou did not get into the Cincinnati game until the second half. And Gino telling Kerith Burke after the game, you got to work at all times. So message sent to the freshman. The first time he's done that to freshmen during his time over 31 years at UConn.
Yeah, he expects the same effort at all times from all of the players, whether if you're the best player or the last player on the bench. Doesn't matter.
Grovey has a kick by Stewart. So they'll put 15 on the shot clock.
Shea Ralph could share her experience from her freshman year, I'm sure. She has shared that.
Well, it's interesting. You can talk about Shea Ralph. You can talk about Breanna Stewart, who is the best player in the country. But you remember back to her freshman year that there were some tough messages that came through from the head coach.
It's a difficult transition to come in as a senior at a high school where you're all everything. And then you come in. Now you're the low guy on the totem pole, and you have to learn how to work in a completely different way than you've ever worked before.
Tough catch, but Stewart puts it in. She has 4.
And she got a little inadvertent whack to the mouth. She was grabbing her lips.
Stewart, we've seen that for Nurse. And that's going to be an offensive foul on Ashley Hughes. Stewart taking the contact.
Stewart much better in the lane. Remember, speaking of her freshman year, she didn't want to go in the lane. She didn't like the contact. She was stubborn for a while with their coach, but she finally has gotten in there.
Williams too strong. Rebound for Polk.
You know, a lot of credit has to go to the team's strength coach, Amanda Kimball, who works with this team in the strength room, in the weight room, increasing their strength. It's made a huge difference with all of them.
Going out of bounds. Last touch by Tulsa. Golden Hurricane turnover number 7. Seven turnovers over the last 6 minutes for Tulsa. They've gone more than 4 minutes without scoring. And before the shot, foul called on Ashley Hughes. That'll be her second.
Well, a call like that may seem a little bit ticky-tack, but I like the call by Sue Blau only in that it keeps things from getting out of hand.
Well, that's the 5th team foul on Tulsa, so it'll be 2 free throws here for Stewart.
Good patience offensively for UConn. Tulsa, not a very tall team. They're tough and they're gritty, but they lack height on that front line, and the Huskies have done a really nice job of getting the ball into Tuck, into Stewart, into Collier.
Saw Kia Nurse head to the bench. Collier back in.
Thought Collier got away with the bump there.
Grabbed by Chong. Out there was Stewart, Samuelson, Collier, and Gabby Williams. Williams was on the baseline, and Tulsa will take over with 26 seconds to go in the first quarter. Connecticut shooting 60% from the field. Tulsa at 25%, 3 of 13.
UConn men and Temple Owls didn't shoot well last night. It's carrying over to tonight. Maybe it's the building.
It's going to be a foul on Collier, who got up on Wakefield, trying to keep it from going into the backcourt.
And he's grabbing his head going, is that a freshman mistake? Why would you, when the kid is ready to turn the ball over, why would you bump her and bail her out?
4 seconds, down to 3. Wakefield throws it back outside. Shot came too late, and that is the end of the first quarter here at the XL Center. UConn holding Tulsa to 6 first quarter points, up by 18 after 1. A 13-0 run to end the first quarter has UConn on top 24-6 over Tulsa here at the XL.
Full court pressure, as you see some ladies excited with the new year upon us. But full court pressure, check this out. Sanaya Chong doing a really nice job. Now a little bit of a double there. The great thing about a good defensive team is you make not 1 good defensive stop, not 2, but 3. Watch this. 3 players swarm around the ball. Stop that now. Stopping it out on the perimeter. And then there was a foul off the ball in the lane. You saw it there on 25. She whacked Kia Nurse in the mouth. Outstanding team defense. Everyone knows where the ball is.
That's something they were focusing on in practice yesterday.
Yes, they've worked a lot. And, you know, we've talked a lot about it on the air so far this season. They've given up a lot of threes. You know, their defense has not been what it has been and what they've become known for. And, you know, you got to make adjustments. You got to work on it. And they worked on it yesterday, and it's certainly paying off here tonight.
It's interesting when you look at those 3-point defense numbers. UConn is 10th in the American with opponents shooting 34%, 285th in Division I. But Tulsa was 0 for 3 in the first quarter from outside the 3-point line. Holmes has a shot blocked by Collier. Williams extends on Wakefield. Really no room for Tulsa to operate right here, and it's a stop to start the quarter. A 30-second shot clock violation.
Really good energy, great communication. They're all talking to each other. That's a sign of really good defense. And it's also a good sign that Chong doesn't seem to be bothered by that right IT band.
It's interesting watching Sanaya as she prepares for a game now, because we do not see her until the team comes out for the final time pregame. Collier with the putback for her first 2. Long scoring drought continuing for Tulsa. Didn't score over the final 5 minutes of the first quarter. Williams pulls down another rebound. That's 5 rebounds now for Gabby. Tuck perfect in the first quarter, by the way. 4 for 4 from the field, 4 for 4 from the free throw line.
Collier missed Williams dive into the hoop.
Samuelson. It's going to be an offensive foul called on Katie Lou Samuelson. Let's check back in with Karen.
Eric, I had a chance to talk to Sanaya Chong's mom, Leslie. She's here at every one of her daughter's home games today. A little special, gets to see her daughter start. But get this, Leslie found out Sanaya was starting when she saw the news on Twitter. Sanaya didn't tell her. She said she doesn't say much and didn't want to make a big deal out of the moment. Eric?
Wakefield off the glass for 2. Thank you very much, Karen. Well, I must say, there was a moment during the pregame warm-up when Sanaya wasn't out here as she's doing the new massaging and stretching exercise to take care of that IT band problem. Tried to feed it into Collier, and it's a turnover for UConn. Meanwhile, Mariah Jefferson was going through layup lines, and she was dressed and doing her typical pregame routine. And you had to say at one point, "Are you playing tonight?" And she shook her head saying no.
You had wisely noticed that she was wearing earrings.
Well,
she
you know,
wouldn't have been playing.
You try to pick up on everything. Katie Lou Samuelson knocks it down for 3.
You've been trained well by
Yes, I've been working with you enough to know.
I give your wife all the credit.
Spurl with the pull-up. First points for the redshirt sophomore. Did not play last year because of injury, coming off strong performance against SMU. She scored 11 of Tulsa's final 15 points in that win. Gabby Williams showing a little range. 4 points now for Gabby Williams. Morgan Tuck leading the way with 12. Gabby knocks it away. Sanaya Chong will lay it in.
There's such a good energy with this UConn team, and I have to think some of it's because Mariah Jefferson's not playing, and they're all stepping up and doing a little bit extra.
Collier just picks the pocket. Samuelson returns it. Beautiful basketball shown by UConn. Timeout called by Tulsa. It does not get any better than that. From end to end.
You want to talk about a sign of the future? How about this? Love it. Huskies rolling early.
Welcome back to the XL Center. SNY will premiere an hour-long documentary on the 1995 team that will profile the program's first ever national championship and the long-lasting impact of that magical season. Here is a sneak peek.
That moment in 1995, being there in Gamble Pavilion, hearing, I think I just got my hearing back. It was deafening. Men were talking about that game. Men talked about UConn-Tennessee rivalry. They talked about Pat. They talked about Gino. It really put us on the map.
UConn 95, Birth of a Dynasty, premieres next Wednesday. That's January 13th. At 8:30 on SNY. We were fortunate enough to get a sneak peek. Meg was an assistant coach on that 94-95 team. Meg, you were part of this documentary. People would say, I mean,
It's spectacular.
For the UConn fans, this will bring back some great memories. It will remind you of things you may have forgotten. I think watching it, besides the big hair that we saw looking back out of the timeout, it's a block for UConn. And here comes Nurse the other way. Nurse, Samuelson, Collier, Stewart, and Tuck, the 5 on the floor for UConn. Collier can't get it, and now Tulsa comes back the other way. Is that the personalities are still there. Jen Rosati, Nikisha Sales,
Rebecca Lobo.
Rebecca, Kara, you.
Mel Elliott.
It's
Kara.
great. So yeah, it'll be something you don't want to miss.
I urge everybody to record that.
Next Wednesday,
week.
8:30 on SNY, 8:30.
Hope my kids are listening. Hope they record it now.
Are you saying that because you don't know how to set the DVR? Do you have to have them do it for you?
Yep.
I thought so. Here comes Natalie Butler making her home debut for UConn as Collier goes to the bench. Spurl now with 4 for Tulsa. Butler to Stewart, and a blocking foul called as Stewart runs over Kelsey Grovey.
See, the fact that Butler was able to make that pass, that's a great option. It's funny, we just talked about the 95 team with Kara Walters and Rebecca Lobo and how good they were with the high-low combination. This could be another dynamic duo.
Tuck made the move, couldn't finish it, grabbed by Williams. Got it for three. First three-pointer made by Tulsa tonight. Brings it to a 20-point game. Samuelson wide open. Butler finds a cutting Samuelson. Unselfish play, dropping it down to Tuck.
Give Butler credit for tracking down that offensive rebound. And a really nifty pass from Samuelson to Tuck.
Well, Tulsa heating up a little bit. Spurl keeps it going. She has 6 to lead the Golden Hurricane in scoring. Nurse. Batted out by Tuck to Samuelson, and UConn will reset. Morgan Tuck. Red hot night for Morgan Tuck. 16 points on 6 of 7 shooting.
Really nice flash to the high post from the opposite block.
Wakefield's drive won't drop. Butler pulls down a rebound. Nurse rebounded by Williams for Tulsa. Sanaya Chong waiting patiently to check back in for UConn. And now a whistle. Let's take you back a few moments. That play before the timeout by Tulsa. The hands by Collier.
How about that?
Just a nose for basketball, but how they ran this break after that. Just unselfish basketball with Collier to finish.
Another nice sign of the future, the 2 freshmen.
You see Collier's numbers, and her minutes keep going up, averaging 21 minutes a game, coming off the double-double against Cincinnati, 11 points, 12 rebounds. But what you can tell early about her game, Meg, and I think you're on board with this, 3 blocks, 3 steals. She's just going to fill up the stat sheet in many different columns, it seems, as she goes along in her UConn career.
Yeah, just got so much diversity to her game.
Butler couldn't get it to go, and a jump ball, possession arrow pointing UConn's way.
I like the fight there by Butler. Didn't give up. Ball just rolled around, didn't go in, but found a way to grab that offensive rebound and then didn't give it up. Nice pass.
Stewart gets back into play. Can't get it the first time or the second time. There won't be a third. Courtney Ekmark into the game for the Huskies. Spurl was surrounded by Butler, by Tuck, by Stewart.
Good patience. So you got to give it to her. She's working hard in there.
Sanaya Chong will knock down the 3. 7 points for Sanaya after scoring 13 points in 22 minutes against Cincinnati. Tuck will be whistled for the foul, sending Williams to the free throw line. One thing with Natalie Butler is she's still playing with that left thumb heavily taped up and braced after the ligament surgery on October the 19th. Not making her debut until December 30th against Cincinnati.
And I would imagine it's probably 50%, you know, physical, keep it protected, and 50% mental.
Tiara Williams onto the score sheet. Probably at this point, if you've got the doctor's clearing you to play. Physically, you're fine. It's just being more comfortable, thinking that it's not going to get hurt again. Is it the mental part that's
the mental
tougher?
stuff is the hardest. And to get that confidence back, not worry about hurting it. And think about it. When you try to catch the ball, if you got a bad thumb, it impacts everything you do.
Hughes fighting inside, dished it off to Jordan Holmes, who couldn't put it in. Stewart with 2:20 to go in the second quarter.
Look how big this lineup is. You got Nurse.
You've got
The backcourt
Butler.
is small. Yeah, and then look at the big guys. You got
Tuck,
Butler,
Stewart, and Butler.
Tuck, and Stewart. Courtney Ekmark. That name was just escaping me for a moment. This is the first time that I can remember that 3 bigs are in.
5 on the shot clock. Chong drops it off, didn't hit iron, so no reset, but a foul is called on Pagonis for Tulsa. Coming up at halftime, join Gary and Kara for the highlights and analysis on the UConn women's basketball halftime show. Coming up in just a minute 59 of game action. Brianna Stewart heads to the bench. Chong. Sanaya running back down the floor, intercepted that pass, really came out of nowhere as Tulsa turns it over again. 12 turnovers now for Tulsa. Butler. Her first points in front of the home crowd.
Sweet stroke there from the free throw line.
Pagonis, travel. Gabby Williams back into the game for the Huskies as Morgan Tuck will go to the bench. What a half for Morgan Tuck. 16 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist. Pressure in the backcourt from Tulsa. Without Mariah Jefferson in the game, if you're Tulsa, you say, why not?
Sure. Gives them a chance to not only slow the game down.
Samuelson rattles in another 3. That's her second of the game.
Well, that's the problem with the zone press. If you're not careful and don't match up, you're really exposed along that perimeter, especially in the corner.
Pagonis. Sanaya Chong the rebound, final minute of play here in the second quarter. Williams looking for Butler, and 3-second violation called on UConn's Butler.
These are a lot of minutes that Natalie Butler's been playing in a row. I could see a little fatigue, but this is going to be baptism by fire. There's no way to get into game shape other than just playing games.
Williams the rebound, plenty of time here to go in half, and a timeout being called by UConn. They'll draw up a play with 11.2 to go before halftime.
This is a smart play by Gino, a way to make a last-second situation. Obviously, it doesn't matter in this game, but he's doing this, you know, for future opportunities. When the game will be on the line, they're going to need a shot. Hey, you got to practice it in the game. It's a great opportunity.
Why not see this 5 on the floor if they can execute
Exactly.
the play? Our next game on SNY will be next Wednesday. We'll be on the road. Beale Street, Memphis, Tennessee. The Huskies will take on the Tigers. Our coverage begins with the pregame show at 5:30. Be sure to join us next Wednesday on SNY. Meg and I lobbied Dan Barr, our director, to see if we could be at a remote location on Beale Street and he could pipe in the picture so we could watch and broadcast.
I think it's a phenomenal idea.
Stewart, Chong, Ekmark, Samuelson, and Gabby Williams, the 5 on the floor, as Natalie Butler heads to the bench. Foul called on Tulsa. That'll be team foul number 3, so no free throws here. 8.6 to go. Seven. Stewart. Well, any play looks good when you can throw it to the best player in the country, and she can finish like that. Brianna Stewart cuts to the basket off the inbounds pass from the sideline. Watch it one more time.
And it's funny, watch Katie Lou Samuelson up on the top of the wing. She's so open. She's saying, give me the ball, but Williams is like, no, we're going to Stewart.
8 players in double figures in the last game against Cincinnati. Balance in this game. Let's check in with Kareth with Gino.
Well, Gino, we looked up at the scoreboard and saw 12 points from Morgan Tuck just after that the first quarter alone. When you needed somebody to step up and play some Mariah, any surprise that it's Morgan?
We started the game with, we wanted to go to our big guys, and she happens to be the one that's open all the time. And, it's funny that when a player feels like they've got it, they end up being around the ball a lot. So it was just let's go to our big guys to start the game, and she's the one that's taking advantage of it the most.
Thank you, Gino. Appreciate it. Morgan Tuck leading the way with 16 points in this half. Some good UConn defense as well, which Gino challenged his team to do tonight. Gary and Kara coming up on SNY's UConn halftime show with the Huskies leading 49-18.
UConn women's basketball on SNY, brought to you by Town Fair Tire. Every brand at the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. By Nissan. And by Connecticut Lighting Centers and Restoration Lighting Gallery Centers. So much more than just a lighting store. Just feel like watching this for a little while. Can we hold up the second half? All of Meg's famous dance moves on display here at the XL Center. All aboard the Ice Bus this season, hockey fans. UConn hockey back here in Hartford. Tickets are on sale now for Flex Pack, single game, or group ticket information. Visit UConnTickets.com today. First half stats presented by Bob's Discount Furniture. 8 different Huskies scored in the first half. UConn shooting 51% as a team. They are perfect from the free throw line, a plus 11 in rebounding margin, and they scored 22 points off of 13 Tulsa turnovers. Morgan Tuck, far and away the scoring leader for UConn tonight. 6 of 8 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Brianna Stewart, 8 points in the first half on 3 of 9 shooting. Eric and Meg back courtside with you here at the XL Center. Thoughts on the first half and what to expect in the second half, Meg?
I thought the team played pretty well, considering they didn't have their floor general in Mariah Jefferson, but everyone sort of collectively stood up. I didn't think one person would stand out in the backcourt, but what I was most impressed with, again, I feel like I say this again and again, Morgan Tuck, just so strong and so steady. She can score with her back to the basket. She can take you off the dribble. And then on the other end of the floor, they are so difficult to score against. Brianna Stewart with those long arms, 1 of her 2 blocks, and Kia Nurse with the rare blocks.
UConn in the first half had 5 blocked shots and 6 steals. They held Tulsa to 28% shooting from the field. It'll be Golden Hurricanes basketball to start the second half. Kelsey Grovey ready to get things started. Liesl Spurl led Tulsa in scoring in the first half. She had 6 off the bench. Early 3 on the way, rebounded by Collier. That's Collier's 3rd rebound of the game. Tuck shut off on the baseline. Collier comes in to get the putback.
The kid who's always moving tracks down that offensive rebound. No blue shirt. Boxed out.
Well, if you want the basketball, you usually find the basketball.
Oh, nice push there by 33. Inside for Tulsa. Crystal Polk.
Collier got the rebound, and then Tuck scores on the other end. 18 now for Morgan. Her season high is 21, coming off a 14-point game against Cincinnati in 18 minutes. third rebound of the half. Nurse being pressured. Sanaya Chong knocks down a three. What a start to quarter three for UConn. 10 points now for Sanaya.
It's just really good to see Sanaya healthy and gaining more and more confidence.
And a blocking foul called on Kia Nurse.
You see Nafisa Collier just crashing the boards and finishing. And Sanaya Chong, she loves that right perimeter. She loves that spot on the floor. Money.
Thrown away. I don't know if Kia Nurse got a piece. She did not. Tulsa basketball. Ashley Clark saying that Nurse touched the ball. Officials don't agree. So look at Matilda Mossman in her 5th season and 13th overall. Picked up career win number 200 last January. Took over a team that had 5 wins the season before she got there. Then won the Conference USA Championship in her 2nd season as head coach.
Yeah, they started out the season this year in the conference 2-0.
Foul is called on Collier.
And as Matilda told us before the game, you know, this is just about managing minutes for her team. They're going to drive down to Philly tonight to play Temple Saturday and then fly to Memphis. Or play Friday, rather.
Yeah, they play Friday at Temple in an afternoon game, 4 o'clock, and then they're at Memphis for an afternoon game on Sunday. And a foul called on Stewart. 4 fouls now on UConn. In this quarter. Wakefield can't get it, and Stewart has the rebound. Chong into Collier as she was trying to grab the basketball. She was grabbed by Kelsey Grovey.
Now number 0, Kelsey Grovey.
There's the foul on Grovey. Quickly on the inbound, UConn put up a shot, missed it, and Tulsa back the other way. Wakefield thought perhaps she was fouled. Grabbed by the Huskies. They have outscored Tulsa 7-0 here to start quarter 3. Sanaya Chong lets it go. So you got to think with Sanaya's new pregame routine where she is not on the court until 3 minutes are left on the pregame countdown clock. That's what the situation was today, as she's getting some massage therapy on her sore knee. It'll take a while to find your range, I would think. You can't just jump right out there. Your whole pregame routine that you've been doing for years is interrupted, but they do that so she can play the minutes she's playing right now, and I think she has found the range, although not this time. Lost out of bounds by Tulsa. Now let's take you back to this block shot by Brianna Stewart.
There's just no way when you're that much shorter than Brianna Stewart, you cannot shoot over her. You have to go by her, try to go under her, and draw the foul.
3 blocks now for Stewie. Tuck tried to feed it to Collier, and it's going to be a turnover. Number 8 for UConn.
And that's a turnover Gino Auriemma doesn't mind. You know, she was trying to make the extra pass, trying to feed her teammate, and it just didn't get connected, but it was the right idea.
Subs for UConn, number 33, Katie Lou Samuelson.
Katie Lou Samuelson into the game. Stewart. Gabby Williams just into the game. Couldn't get it. Pulled down by Stewart. Samuelson, Tuck, Nurse, Williams, Stewart on the floor right now for UConn. And there's Gabby ripping it away on the inside. Ball is free and picked up by Tuck. And now Nurse will settle things down. But then throw it away.
I like the ball, the way the ball has been firing around, quickly being passed inside out, around the perimeter, side to side. Playing with a purpose on offense.
Spurl into the game, can't knock it down, and it's a rebound for Tuck. Swing it around, Samuelson's three is good. Third three-pointer for Katie Lou Samuelson. She had been struggling from outside the line in the 5 previous games, 3 for 19, but she's made 3 here today. And now a timeout being called with 4:47 to go in the third quarter. Sanaya Chong has reached 13 points for the second consecutive game, knocking down 3 three-pointers here tonight. UConn up big in the third. Tulsa's Ashley Hughes became a fan favorite here at the XL Center last year when Tulsa played UConn for the first time. She was fighting in the corner with Kia Nurse for a loose ball when all of a sudden she had a loose tooth. More specifically, her 2 front teeth were chipped, and there's a piece of it right there. So that is hers. Matilda Mossman came out and found the other piece. So she went to the bench only for a couple of minutes, got fitted for a mouth guard, and came in and knocked down the three.
Gotta love her.
The crowd here gave her a big round of applause. Looked like the crown work or whatever they've done has been completed. So good to see Ashley here. Tulsa basketball out of the timeout as Grovey being defended by Gabby Williams. Finished by Kelsey Grovey. She has 5, averaging 11 a game. 3rd on the team in scoring. Really a 4-year fixture for this Tulsa team, mostly as a starter. Coming off a 15-point game against SMU. Calling for it. Rebounded by Spurl for Tulsa. Spurl. Defended by Stewart. Clark's shot will go. Ashley Clark has 6. She went for 26 for Tulsa this year for a new career high. That's Tulsa's best performance this season.
And they only had her 4 minutes in that first half due to 2 quick fouls, so they missed her production and leadership.
Gabby Williams can't get that pass. Turnover UConn. That will get us to a timeout with 3:27 to go in the third quarter here in Hartford with UConn en route to win number 12. A lead and even 40 for UConn here with 3:27 to go in quarter 3. 9 points tonight for freshman Katie Lou Samuelson. She's already making an impact on the court for the UConn Huskies. The California native has also settled into life away from the court just as seamlessly.
It's been cool. It's been nice kind of being in this kind of atmosphere with a bunch of different people, living on your own. It's been really fun. We've done a lot more media than I've probably done in my life already, but it's like the full experience that you would expect from UConn, and it's been a lot of fun.
Katie Lou lets her hair down, literally, on the Gino Auriemma show later tonight, right after the UConn women's postgame show here on SNY. UConn was up 49-18 at halftime. They've outscored Tulsa 13-4 here in quarter 3 as Katie Lou on the floor with Sanaya Chong, Gabby Williams, Brianna Stewart, and Natalie Butler back into the game now for UConn. Tulsa on the offensive glass. Freshman Scales had the rebound. Spurl collides with Chong, taken away by Gabby Williams. And Gabby counted the foul.
Nice anticipation by Williams. Not sure about this foul.
There's no question Grovey grabbed the left arm of Williams, but got to make it count if you don't want her to score. Gabby continues to make free throws. Now 7 points for Gabby. To 72% from the free throw line as UConn settles into his own. Lost out of bounds by Tulsa with Gabby Williams hitting the deck. UConn basketball. Stewart. First points of the second half for Brianna Stewart. She's into double figures now with 10. 3 UConn players in double figures. In that Cincinnati game, we were kind of wondering aloud when UConn hit 8 in double figures. I don't know if anybody's seen more UConn games over the last 20 years plus than you, but you couldn't remember it ever happening. And Pat McKenna and his crew did the research, and that was the first time that a UConn team had ever put 8 into double figures in a game. Brianna Stewart had 16 in that Cincinnati game. She has 10 here tonight.
You know, it's just amazing how she can score from so many places and in different ways, which leads you to over 2,000 points. Up there with scoring, rebounding, blocks. Such a multi-dimensional player.
On cue, adding to her point total. Came in 164 points behind second place Tina Charles on the all-time scoring list. She has 12 now tonight. Hughes into the game for Tulsa. Clark, pretty strong take to the basket, just wouldn't get the roll. And it'll be UConn ball. Stewart, the player of the week in the American for the 3rd time this season. Shooting 61% from the field coming into the game. Struggling by her standards here tonight, 5 of 12. Williams tried to feed it into Butler, who was held by Scales. Well, after the Cincinnati game, Gino Auriemma said that you could feel everyone on the floor was confident and connected. They had 8 in double figures. They had 107 points. You do notice a difference, all credit to Mariah Jefferson here, when your starting point guard over the last 90 games heading into tonight, count that, is a cheerleader tonight instead of on the floor.
And you should have seen her yesterday at practice. You know, she wasn't playing, and they had some moments where they looked lousy because they missed her. A long 3 there for Tulsa. But she came back out of the training room and then on the sidelines just doing her part, cheering, getting the guys involved, and it made a difference, just her presence.
Ekmark into the game, can't get the rebound off the Butler miss. Clark, Butler with the block, starting it back the other way. Sanaya Chong is fouled.
I'm impressed at how Butler got up the floor after that nice block on the other end. That thumb didn't seem to mind blocking that ball. And then she ran up the floor and was there to pick Sanaya Chong up off the floor after getting fouled.
Like Katie Lou Samuelson may have taken a shot to the chin on the defensive end. Plenty of substitutions in here for Tulsa. Sanaya Chong, 27 points over the last 2 games, matching what she did in her first 7 games. Again, I want to find out what Rosemary Regal is doing back behind the scenes
to talk to her.
Bottle it up and sell it to anybody who's fighting some kind of injury, because it is working for Sanaya.
Hey, Rosie should do it on herself. She or get someone to do it on her. She's got a bad IT band as well. But she's just a little bit older than Sanaya. Sorry, Rosie.
But she looks very young.
She's going to kill me.
Chong with 13 to go. Ripped away by Holmes for Tulsa. Tulsa bench will count it down, and it's thrown back behind Hughes. So UConn has 3.7 to go before the end of the third quarter.
And those are the, Mossman is obviously angry. Like, come on, we can't turn it over like that.
Heckmark hoping to get a foul called. Nothing was called, and that is the end of the third quarter here at the XL Center in downtown Hartford. UConn outscored Tulsa 24-6 in the first quarter. They outscored Tulsa 24-7 in the third quarter, heading to the fourth here in Hartford. We're back in downtown Hartford. UConn on top of Tulsa as we get ready for the fourth quarter. Let's send it over to Kareth Burke.
Eric, I had a chance to talk with Mariah Jefferson at practice, and she told me she graduated last semester. Technically, she's done with school, but she's working on her senior thesis. The topic is youth in sports, and she's analyzing the way sports can keep kids out of trouble. Mariah said the issue is close to her heart because she had some friends pass away after they stopped being involved with athletics. So Mariah's paper will examine the way sports enrich kids academically, in maturity, socially. You got to remember, Mariah was homeschooled, so basketball was a big part of her social life. And Mariah said once her basketball career is over, she wants to keep going by being a trainer, like a private basketball coach, and she hopes to run youth camps with her family. She's got a really bright future ahead of her, Eric.
Now the present's pretty bright as well. Thank you very much, Kareth. As Mariah, if you're just joining us, out with what is being called a minor hamstring injury, but certainly
major enough to keep her out tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly right. As taking it to the basket is Holmes. And with UConn heading out on the road, a three-game road trip coming up. They'll be at Houston Friday night, then at nationally ranked USF Sunday, before heading on to Memphis a week from tonight. We don't know when Mariah will be back. Samuelson's three is good. Fourth three-pointer tonight for Katie Lou Samuelson.
Hamstring injuries are really, really difficult because if you don't give them enough time, they will hamper you the entire season.
Holmes can't get it. Polk takes it away from Collier. Collier blocked by Collier, blocks Polk. Third block for Nafisa.
She's so smart, keeping her hands straight up. Really fundamentally sound defensive player.
8 points, 6 rebounds to go along with those 3 blocks for Collier after she gets 2 more.
Matilda Mossman just went to her bench. That's not the shot they wanted.
Collier got it in the foul. Double figures again for Nafisa. Scored 11 against Cincinnati, has 10 with a chance to add to it at the free throw line.
Everyone talks, and we knew coming in what a good shooter Katie Lou Samuelson is, but I've been impressed with a lot of her passing. Certainly here tonight, the nice dish inside to Collier, who finished nicely while getting fouled.
16 of 18 from the free throw line this season. Very strong start, 12 games into her UConn career. Samuelson knocked it out of bounds. Tulsa basketball. Nafisa making her 5th start here tonight. She came into the game, Meg, second only to Mariah Jefferson in steals. Give you an idea of complete game she brings, and Katie Lou Samuelson takes a charge. Here's tonight's UConn trivia question presented by Mercedes-Benz. Gino Auriemma has 928 wins. which team has he defeated the most without suffering a loss? So he's perfect against one team with more wins. We'll get you the answer coming up as Sanaya Chong continues her hot shooting. 18 points for Sanaya. It's a new season high, and it's 2 off her career high, which she set the last time she started, which was against Stanford last year.
This a better outcome for UConn. But I want to get back to the Katie Lou Samuelson charge she took that last possession. You know, Gino, in his infinite sarcasm, said, I think, you know, she can do more than shoot, I'm thinking. And then she's doing it on both ends of the floor last time taking that charge.
Hughes beats the shot clock, turning and scoring. 5 points now for Ashley Hughes. Inside of 7 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Collier. Samuelson really seemed to be settled. Courtney Ekmark gets her first points of the night, and they're the hustle variety.
Gets a great reaction from the bench. Ekmark flying in there for that offensive rebound.
Hughes. Samuelson pulls it in and hands it off to Chong. Inside of 6 to play in the fourth. Butler and Williams set the check in for UConn. Kia Nurse. Been a quiet night for Kia, playing a little bit of a different role with Mariah Jefferson on the bench.
But where she wasn't quiet and where it won't show up in the stat sheet was her leadership, particularly early in the game.
Scales gets her first points. Sanaya Chong hands it off to Ekmark. Nurse. Collier. Pagonis calls for it. Chong almost got the steal. Grovey comes out of the scrum. Rebounded by Samuelson. We've got a few minutes here without a stoppage, and now a timeout is going to be called for Gino Auriemma to get Butler and Williams into the game, but we'll also take our final media timeout. It comes with 4:36 to go in the fourth quarter. Courtney Ekmark becomes the 9th UConn player to score. Huskies rolling.
Gary Apple sitting alongside Carol Walters. No Mariah Jefferson tonight. No problem.
No problem. A lot of people stepped up in her absence, especially Sanaya Chong, and we'll tell you what she did coming up soon.
All right. People's United Bank postgame show on the way in just a little bit, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Gary and Kara. Kara is sneakily the star of the 1995 Dynasty documentary that you'll see next week.
Absolutely.
Just letting you know.
The big girl.
86-31. We have tonight's trivia question presented by Mercedes-Benz. Answer: 928 wins. Gino's never lost to this team and picked up 24 victories against West Virginia.
I would not have thought
there.
that. Yeah, Mike Carey would not be happy to be the answer to that question.
Gino about to go 3-0 against Tulsa. Gabby Williams just into the game. Takes it to the basket. Gabby now with 9.
So UConn in a zone, 2-3.
Butler with the block. It's a 10th block for UConn tonight. Butler has 2. Stewart has 3. Collier has 3. Collier 11.7 rebounds tonight. Can't get an 8th rebound. Clark scoops it up for 2. Ashley Clark leading Tulsa in scoring with 8 points.
A nice step through there, splitting the defense. Nice move by Clark.
Interesting combination on the floor right now. Who would you nominate to be the point guard? Gabby Williams can't get it.
In this case, it's Ekmark. But it's nice when you have a bunch of players who can handle the ball.
You know, point guard, 1, it's just a number, it's just a name.
Yeah, they're not using those numbers quite as much anymore. It's like, okay, can you play the game? You want to play? Go.
Katie Lou, by the way, 14 points, matching her career high. She has scored 14 3 times now in her freshman season.
Well, here's scoring off the dribble. You know, I was talking earlier, you know, she can play defense, took that charge before. We know she can shoot the 3, but there, shooting off the dribble. It's just, she's expanding her game and proving that she's more than just a stand-up 3-point shooter.
Brianna Polito, Tierney Lawler into the game now for UConn, inside of 3 minutes to play.
See, this is where the team has got to, and done a nice job getting the ball to the wide open Ekmark. But if you've got a 6'5" kid in there who hasn't played a lot, make sure that you put the ball along the perimeter where she's posting up so you can pass her the ball. Kara Walters will know what I'm talking about back in the studio.
You'll hear from Karen Gary coming up on the People's United Bank postgame show right after we're done here at the XL Center. Butler lost the handle, but Williams gets it back. Road trip coming up for UConn. They'll head down to Houston, a Friday night game, before heading over to Tampa, as Butler can't get the putback to take on USF. We'll be back with you for the Memphis game, so we'll be watching along with you for these next 2 games, and then we'll be with you on SNY next Wednesday in Memphis. Williams is fouled and goes for a tumble. Seems to be okay. So the upcoming schedule at Houston Friday night before taking on 22nd ranked USF on Sunday evening, and then the Memphis game 5:30 with the pregame show. And that'll be 6 o'clock Eastern tip time.
Nice shot in there by Butler. They got her the ball where she could do something with it. Nice little baby hook.
Gabby Williams can't save it.
See, Williams said, all right, I'll get you the ball. You're down in the low post. You're working hard. I'm a little partial to post players. When they're working, you got to find a way to get them the ball.
Clark defended by Polito. Polito knocks it away and heads out of bounds. Good play by the senior. 2 on the shot clock. And what's left of the 85-15 that came to the XL Center, applauding the effort. Polito made huge change your shot.
Halfway
almost
down.
Knocked it down, yeah. Ekmark. They're trying to find Butler. Butler finds a cutting Gabby Williams. Didn't get the iron. Butler rips it, and it's a jump ball possession arrow. Tulsa with 34 seconds to go.
See, I like Butler. She gets the ball, and it's not automatically a shot. She gave it up. to Williams because she was doubled, but then she worked hard for that offensive rebound. More and more good stuff coming out of Natalie Butler.
Spun in by Clark.
It was a tough shot by Clark over the outstretched arm of Butler.
She'll be the only player for Tulsa in double figures tonight with 10 as UConn holds Tulsa to 35 points. It's not a season low for an opponent. Chattanooga scored just 31, but UConn determined to defend tonight. They did so against Tulsa, and they win it 95-35 here at the XL. After knocking off Cincinnati by 62 points in their American Conference opener, they come back one game later and beat Tulsa by 60. Tonight's player of the game, presented by People's United Bank, is Sanaya Chong, making her first start of the season and the 7th of her career. She was rock solid. Season high 18 points, 2 shy of her career high. She made 4 3-pointers. She had 4 assists, and she helped lead UConn to a 95-35 win.
Well, she said she wanted to bring confidence within herself, but also for her teammates. So for her to step into the starting lineup, tremendous effort.
Let's go to Kareth with Gino.
Well, Gino, we saw Sanaya Chong get the start tonight. She was one of the game's top scorers. How else did she make her mark on this game?
Well, you know, Sanaya had a reputation in high school as being one of the great scorers in the history of New York basketball. So I'm not surprised that she scores points. You know, she pushes the ball up in transition. She does a lot of really good things. You know, defensively, we're trying to get her to put a lot more pressure on the ball. Keep working hard, keep working hard. So when she plays great offensively, I'm never surprised. Never surprised. I'm surprised when she plays great defense.
When it comes to defense, you were giving the whole team some notes during the timeouts. I know what the scoreboard says about the way you guys stopped Tulsa, but what did you notice?
Well, one of the things we talked about was not getting ourselves in a situation where the other team's shooting free throws, and I thought we did a great job of that. We didn't want to give up a lot of open threes, and I thought we did a great job of that. And we rebounded the ball pretty well. And I always, you know, we talk about those 3 things a lot every day in practice. So regardless of the score, I thought we did a really good job in those 3 areas.
Finally, Gino, you've got a 3-game road trip coming up. What do you want your team's mentality to be?
Well, I think we're going to have to just be mature. You know, we can't have, you know, we don't want to sit around and say, well, the travel, the hotels, you know, the plane rides. There's a million reasons to not play great these next 3 games. And you know what? None of them are any good. So we're going to have to be mature, and we're going to have to do what we need to do. You know, I know everybody's looking forward to the trip. There's no school, and we got a couple of days in Florida, so hopefully it goes our way.
Thank you very much, Gino. Eric, back to you.
Kareth said by a man smiling like he may be packing his golf clubs for part of the trip. Nafisa Collier and UConn with a 60-point win. Back to wrap things up here at the XL next. UConn women's basketball on SNY, brought to you by Sam Adams, for the love of beer. By Connecticut Lottery, you can't win if you don't play. And by Greenwich Hospital, a part of Yale New Haven Health. Visit greenwichhospital.org to learn more about the Greenwich Hospital experience. UConn wins by 60, 95-35 over Tulsa. Our next game on SNY will be next Wednesday, the 13th of January, as the Huskies travel to Tennessee to take on Memphis. Our coverage begins with the pregame show. Note the time, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Coming up next is the People's United Bank postgame show with Gary Apple and Kara Walters. And don't forget to stick around after the postgame show for an all-new episode of the Gino Auriemma Show. So for Meg Como, Kareth Burke, producer Gerard Guilfoyle, director Dan Barr, John DeMarsico, and our entire SNY crew, I'm Eric Freed. So long from Hartford.